Hello, everybody. Welcome to the OneCraft Developer Diary. And I'm sorry it's been so long. I am actually going to keep this one short. I know I said that last time and I failed. Sorry, messing with my mic. I failed to do that. But this one I'm actually going to keep short. I have some things to show you, and then I just want to talk about the plans. I've been working. I would say I haven't worked a lot, but I haven't not worked a lot either. I mean, I've been working a decent amount. The problem is the time that I've spent has been really trying to solve a couple of main problems. One is some rotation animation type issues, which I'll show you in a minute. One was getting models in place, which you can see I've got a couple of models here, and we'll look at those in a minute. And then one was figuring out all of the stuff around getting tick events and all that to work, to handle them on the server side and the client side, and for all that stuff to work. So you guys have seen my meteor, which now actually is fully randomized as far as the angle, and the speed has been reduced, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But so like, it doesn't matter where I'm looking. If I'm looking up, you can see that I've got one and it comes at just kind of a random angle. And then if I do another one, that one's at a little steeper angle, and another one is even steeper, and they're just kind of random angles. It doesn't matter where I'm looking. They're always the same angle. So it's not like it used to be, but it is always from behind me and moving in the direction that I'm facing. And that's to try and help make it easier to spot them. And I'm making them move slower, which I think actually ends up looking cooler anyway. That one's really steep. I think it looks better anyway, and I think it'll just work out. So right now, they also spawn in the world randomly, and I do have that working. And so we'll look at that. We may even get one while we're here. Let me turn this up a little bit just so that in case it does occur. So we might see one. It spawns. Right now, the rules are I attempt to spawn one every 50 seconds, so every 1,000 ticks, and it has a 5% chance of spawning every 50 seconds. I have played in my test world, which I'll show you just for fun, just so you guys can kind of get a feel for it. But I've played in my test world now for about 45 minutes, and I just had my first one spawn. So I don't know if that's too rare or not rare enough. It felt like it wasn't quite rare enough. It was funny though, because I had just been playing. I hadn't played Minecraft in so long. I was just kind of playing and hanging out, and it was funny because I was just like doing some stuff, just actually having fun playing Minecraft, like the basic beginning parts of Minecraft, trying to think of some of the kind of beginning game things that I want to put in place. And all of a sudden I saw one and I looked up. I was like, you got to remember to look up. So the key is, when I get this out and you guys start playing it, the key is to look up. Whenever you hear that sound, right? You look up, and then that was a really steep one. And when you look up, you have a better chance of seeing it. And the one that I found was actually at a pretty shallow angle, so it went a long way off. I don't know, that one's did some damage. It went quite a ways off. I had to chase it down, but I was able to do it. It was in a desert, which helps. But anyway, so that was kind of, I'm just doing a little bit of kind of play testing to see if we've got the right spawn frequency. And in that one, I actually happened to get every type of block that is possible to spawn, except I even got some scorched earth, and it was in a desert. I didn't get any of the scorched gravel, so I'll have to work on that. Which I'm not even sure if I've shown that. No, I have. It is definitely in here. I don't know why it's not showing up, but anyway. Okay. So now let's get on to this. This is what's more interesting. I haven't got the bounding boxes set, but this right here is the rock crusher. Now, don't freak out because it's ugly. It is ugly. The texture's ugly, and so is the actual machine. But I just wanted to see if it was about, can I make a model? Can I get it in the game? Can I have it face me when I place it? Stuff like that, right? So this is a rock crusher. You guys are used to the interface. The interface is not permanent. I mean, I got to fix that too. But anyway, so that's the rock crusher. So let's just kind of go through the setup. Rock crusher, put it down. Great. Now let's say we want to put some scarn in it. Nothing happens, right? And then we need a pulley wheel, so a crank pulley. Now, this is just a model. In fact, you can see if I put one here, you can see that model includes everything basically. It's the belt on both sides and all of the wheel components, and then obviously they face. Now, If I place this next to the block, it will always face away from you. So now nothing is happening, but if I right click on it, it's spinning. Now, it's not really spinning. All that's happening is that I'm showing or hiding handles based on the rotation, and I'm doing it like every, I don't know, every like half second or something like that. So you can see it process some of that, right? So that's kind of how that works. So that's the hand crank version of it, right? So now, and that's okay. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not great. Like I said, the bounding boxes aren't set, so it acts like a full block. But I can fix that pretty easy. Just haven't messed with it. Now, I had a real problem with this next part. So I have this one set up. In fact, this one is, let's do this. Let's get it set the correct direction just so it looks slightly less ghetto. So this one, let's put a few pieces in here. And then this is a steam engine, and it's just kind of sitting here, and I haven't done any work on that, although I have some ideas I want to share with you. But let's go ahead and put some water in here. Fixed a couple of bugs with this thing, actually. And now you can see that they're spinning when it's under power, and it's powering the rock crusher. So I'm in control enough of these models to like hide or show different pieces of them based on whether or not it's attached to something and all that junk, right? So that's one thing. And you know, I have an item version of it that I have in my hand, and same with these. So that's a big win for me. Uh-oh, something's going on. I have like 4 instances of Eclipse open. Anyway, so that's that. So that's kind of working. I mean, it's not horrible. I think it's okay. I think we can live with it for now. I don't love the models, and what I wanted to do is get them spinning. And so if anybody has any ideas about this, I would love to help. So I was using like the OpenGL rotate F, the rotate float, trying to get it to rotate around its center. And all I could do was get it to rotate around the top center 0, 0 of the block or whatever. So it would rotate like this. The whole model would rotate. Now there's problems with that anyway, because if this was rotating, these little belts here would be rotating as well. But I really would like to at least know how to control it in that way, because this to me is kind of ghetto. I guess it'll work for now, but for like kind of alpha, pre-alpha type stuff, since we don't even have anything resembling a game. But so yeah, this is going to keep burning, obviously, and it's done processing, but we could put some more in here. There's no way to shut it off once it's going. You could take coal out. That's the way so you can do one piece of coal at a time, but you have to burn one coal at a time. And I'll probably leave it like that for a while. Anyway, so yeah, if anybody has any ideas, like I said, I just couldn't get it to rotate around the center of that block, and I even designed it to be that way. And if I could get it to rotate, I would actually make, well, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to get clever, but you can also see that I got a texture issue where this texture overlaps. What I'll probably do is make the black, I even tried making this black to make that better. What I'm probably going to do is raise the belt, raise and lower it 1, so that it's actually kind of looks like it's around the outside of it. I think that will help, because then they won't have the texture collisions, which is causing that funkiness. So I hate that. I will fix that. Yeah, so we can actually take this coal out, and then it'll leave about half the water because it burnt 2 of the coal. So 4 coal per 1 bucket of water in the steam engine right now. Ooh, some lag. Okay. Yeah, so now it's stopped. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, this is all I needed to get kind of the first basic playable items in the game, because I think this is kind of the first step. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, so let me talk about the first part of the game. We haven't seen a meteor, if you'll notice that. I need to get steam engines, but I think I have an idea for steam engines as far as how I'm going to make them. Steam engines are probably going to be 2 blocks. And I'm not sure if I think I'm going to build them in game. I think I'm going to require that they be built in game. I have a couple of thoughts about that I wanted to run by you guys, and just kind of, again, some random, just kind of ramblings. But one of the things that I think Minecraft does really well is that it has low resolution, and I'm not just talking about resolution of the textures, 16 by 16 bit textures. These are, 16 pixels, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the resolution of the concepts. So you have really big concepts at a low resolution. So this right here, right? The idea of a furnace. A furnace is a somewhat complicated concept. It's definitely more than just, 8 pieces of cobblestone. And then it certainly is more than that for smelting, right? I mean, you don't just throw a piece of ore into a furnace and then you get an iron ingot out. But what it's doing is it's abstracting that process down to a lower resolution so that you get, the concepts are big, but but it's not tedious and things like that. And I think I think there's some fun in that. I mean, that's why I like Terra Firma Craft for sure. The resolution of Terra Firma Craft is much higher. You have to, you break down leaves to get sticks, and then you make flint tools, and then you have to, all of that. And so I do think that there's room for that. I just think that you have to rewrite the game like Terra Firma Craft did, which I'm all for. So I'm not going that route. He's doing it much better than I could ever do it, especially right now. And so I'm just not going to mess with it. And also, it's not really what I'm going for, at least not in this mod. What I'm going for in this mod is more to stick with the resolution that we have here, but then expand on it a little bit. So the things that I'm thinking of, and I'm not really exactly sure how I want to do this, but right now you can make, you can take sticks, right? You can take 2 sticks and some cobblestone, and you can make yourself a pickaxe. What I would like to do is then, and that pickaxe has a certain durability, right? I would like to then make the next level of pickaxe be the same thing basically, except that you would make a sturdy wooden handle, right? Instead of just making a piece of stick, or just taking a stick, you would make a sturdy wooden handle, and that sturdy wooden handle, when applied in the same way that a stick is applied, would give you a better tool. It would give you a better pickaxe that would last longer. And that would be true for any of the tools. You probably, I think I would say you couldn't apply a sturdy wooden handle to a stone pickaxe, but you could apply it to a steel and up. And that would be one thing. And then, or a iron and up. And then, the next thing you might do is we might make like steel handles, like steel tool handles, and then maybe like carbon fiber tool handles or something. And that would allow for next levels of tech, but it wouldn't necessarily change the resolution of the game. It's just taking the same concept of cobblestone heads and iron heads and wooden heads for pickaxe, and turning that and using it for the handle. The reason I was going to go that route, not because I really want to like improve pickaxes and their durability, but because I want the concepts to flow kind of normally. And what I'm thinking is that there's going to be some tools required for the workbenches where you'll use the handles, right? So I might possibly, I think I'm probably just going to make one size of sturdy wooden handle. I was thinking about making like small sturdy wooden handles or whatever, but I was just thinking of like a sturdy wooden handle blank. I don't know if that concept means anything to you guys. The concept of a blank. A blank would be like I don't know, you would have like a handle blank, and it would be a prepared piece of square wood, and then you would turn it into a handle of a certain shape or a certain type or to fit a certain tool. And so I'll probably just have the concept of blanks, and you'll make blanks on a lathe. Is the idea, or possibly you'll make them on a sawmill, like you'll make blanks on a sawmill of some sort, and then you'll make the actual handles on a lathe. But I'm going to start those the same kind of tech idea as these, where you can have a basic tech level of a lathe, a hand cranked lathe. Although I don't know if a hand cranked lathe makes any sense at all, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, a lathe of some sort. It might just be that it's like a stored energy lathe or something. I'm trying to think of ways to replace this kind of like initial tech level, the hand crank tech level, in ways where it doesn't make sense. Like the windmill is what keeps coming back, and that is, that and the water wheel and stuff. But anyway, so the lathe is going to be one of the first things. But what I want to do is make the workbench. The workbench is going to be kind of the center first thing you do to get into the mod. And I'm really trying to come up with how I want to do that. I want it to require some different materials, but not like super rare materials. I was thinking that somehow I'm going to incorporate like reeds, possibly, and maybe even cactus. Like try to figure out a way to make it that's somewhat interesting and makes you have to do a fair bit of work before you can get it, but not like I don't know if I'm gonna use a diamond. I want the things to make some sense. Like if I'm gonna make something take a diamond, it's got to have some, like, even if it's just a made up, completely, fabricated long stretch of a reason, it's got to have a reason. So I'm trying to think in those terms. So just so you guys know, that's what I'm working on next. Is I'm going to put my next set of time and effort into. I probably won't even make the steam engine model until I get the first kind of playable version of the game in place. And now that I've got this random spawning meteor thing, and I've got all the blocks necessary, now I need to start making some recipes and things like that. And I want some of the first recipes to be, like I said, the workbench, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it's going to be a 3 wide. It'll be probably 3 different types of blocks that you need to make. And then I think what I'm going to do, my concept right now, and again, I know I have to be really careful with this balancing the resolution that I was just talking about, but I think I'm going to make slots within the workbench where, like, on one side will be where you put your tools, and certain tools will be required to make certain things, right? And then I'll probably go something like with the idea of plans, although I'm not 100% sure. It depends on what you're making. Like if you're making a rock crusher, you're going to have some plans, and that will tell you the pieces that you need. And then I'm going to have to figure that all out. I don't really fully know yet what I'm going to do. But that's the concept there. And then so on the workbench, you'll have different types of the tools. The workbench will kind of stay with you and grow with you. And that's why I want it to be made of kind of, I'm thinking like maybe an iron block and I don't know, an iron block and some wooden planks or whatever to make different components. And there would be 3 different components. And when you put them, all 3 of them down, then it would become the workbench, right? So the whole idea of kind of building built in-game objects, kind of like a blast furnace or something. And speaking of the blast furnace, I'm also thinking that that's going to be one of kind of the early, I'm going to do a regular version and an electric version, kind of like, I don't know if it's Greg Tech or Industrial Craft does the blast furnace, but I'm going to make a kind of a regular version and an advanced version. They're both going to use the same materials. I think I'm going to require steel blocks or iron blocks. I haven't decided yet. I think actually iron blocks. And maybe even as I'm talking about it, maybe I'll make it so that you have to upgrade to steel blocks for the electric blast furnace, but I just don't know if it's going to be necessary. Anyway, the idea would be that you would have to have steel or iron blocks, and I'm probably just going to do like a 2x2 cube, and one of the corner blocks would have to be like the special block. I thought that might look kind of cool. If not, I have to do 3x3 if I want it to be the center, or 3x2x2. And I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do. And then you would be able to replace the actual blocks. So let's say these are iron blocks and we do it this way. The actual like machine block would go right there, right? And then that would make this into a blast furnace. And then what I would do next is you would take this one out and replace it with like the electric version or something, and then we'll have to power it. And I don't know. I'm just thinking down the road. I don't know if I'm really going to go that route or not. I have a lot of gameplay mechanic stuff that I have to think through. So anyway, yeah, I think that's probably about it for this. I'm trying to think if there's other stuff that I wanted to talk about. I really did want to just kind of keep it small. The things that I know for sure are that I want the first 2 blocks to be used are the skarn ore and the quartzite. And you can get those with just a regular. I'm probably going to require an iron pickaxe, but I might actually require just a stone, just kind of like iron. So I'm going to figure out the quartzite and the skarn ore, the different things that you can get with them at the low tech level. So if you just throw it into a blast or into a regular furnace, I think you're just going to get regular copper blocks, and maybe like a chance of I can't do that. I don't know. Maybe sometimes copper, sometimes nickel or something like that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Probably just copper. And then I got to figure out exactly like what you can do with those. I was thinking about having this workbench, like the initial workbench, require a piece of copper. And that would make it so that you had to find one of these. The problem is that they don't always deposit copper ore. There's a really kind of small chance that it may not deposit copper. So I was thinking that you would have to have a meteor strike before you start out with my mod stuff. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that or not, but that was the initial idea. So anyway, let me do one thing. I was going to switch over to show the world that I started playing in just as kind of a test world, and I will be right back. I guess I'm back. I was going to go to my test world real quick. I had to actually go do some stuff, but anyway, so this is, so I'm not in creative, I'm on just regular hard. I didn't do hardcore because, well, I just decided not to. But this is a good strike. It gives me a couple, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks of skarn ore and some of that. And yeah, and that, which I can't get, but I can get this. And I'm going to leave it here for now because I don't have any of the game mechanics implemented, but I'm going to leave it. So this is the one strike I've gotten so far that I've actually seen in real life, and I'll show you where I was when it. So this is where it's at, and I gotta figure out a way. I wish I should try raise minimap just to make sure that I'm compatible. I believe I am, but I will have to somehow mark this. Let's see, what's the best way? I'll show you where I was when it went off. I think I can get there. I think I'll mark this with with a beacon up on top of this hill or something. So yeah, so this is just my Let's Play world. Well, Let's Play is not the right word. This is my test world. And let's see. Will it load in over there? Yeah, my home is over there somewhere. I spawned right by a... Alright, let's do that. And then we'll just head back over here for a minute. I hope I know where I'm going. It's on the other side of this. It's on the other side of this. Guess I could do a little pillar here. There we go. And I've been trying to think of the materials. Like, that's one of the reasons I just wanted to hop in and play, was I wanted to just kind of get a feel. I couldn't even remember what materials you have in the game anymore. So I wanted to do that. Oh, I wanted to give you an idea of how far I was away. Oh yeah, I was actually over here by this well, now that I think about it. I thought I was actually back at my house, but it's only a little further. So that's a pretty good trek. And that was on a pretty, yeah, you can see, I mean, it's over on the other side of that hill right there. So that's a pretty decent trek. But not so far that and I don't know if that was probably about the highest angle you might get, yeah, shallowest angle you might get. I don't imagine that it would probably, I'd have to look at it. So you're not going to get them that much further away than that. But that's cool. I mean, that sent me over there to do a little exploring. So anyway, my house is right over here. I'm in this, I spawned right near this thing. And there's a cool, like, little ravine kind of thing over there. And I was really lucky to have spawned in a desert because I thought, well, it's perfect for meteor chasing. I mean, having kind of a big open area like this is a great place. And it's good because it hits and you get the sand, which, even though I haven't figured out what I want to do with that yet. But so anyway, I looted that thing down there and got the TNT and whatnot. So got all this just in case, started my mine. Just been really messing around. Like I said, not anything serious, but I got some armor and just beginning the whole journey. So, yeah, anyway, I will probably do another video pretty soon. I think this one's about 20 minutes, so short compared to the others. So anyway, I will play a little bit, try to figure out what I'd like to see as far as next steps, and hopefully the next time you talk to me, I will actually be playing in the game, and then I'll pretty shortly after that, once I've done enough testing to make sure it's even works a little bit, I'll send it out to you guys and let you guys start trying it. So I got to figure out how to go about that. I think that's a relatively easy process. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please leave the comments. The comments have been helping me a lot as far as people's ideas, and I actually have some ideas that people have given me that I didn't talk about this time, and I just didn't get around to it. I didn't even set up to talk about them. So if you guys, if you left me comments, doesn't mean I didn't read them. probably even some of the ideas I've either implemented or I'm thinking about implementing. So don't get discouraged. Yeah, like I said, please leave me comments as much as you can, and ideas and thoughts, and tell me what you think about the direction, if you like it, and if not, let me know why. And yeah, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, thumbs up if you liked it, all that stuff. See you next time.